Boxing IQ. He's a very good fighter. He's stronger. He's very compact. He's like a bull, you know. He's a smart guy.
Well, Gennady Golovkin responds, and this is what he had to say, quote, he says, Terence Crawford won't have a problem with Canelo's power because he doesn't have any power.
Bud could possibly be the end for him because Bud has what it takes. I'm not saying Bud will win, but I'm just saying he has what it takes. He's not afraid of Canelo.
Gennady Golovkin has made a surprising prediction about the highly anticipated clash between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. According to Golovkin, Crawford won't have much trouble dealing with Canelo's power, as he argues that Canelo isn't a true knockout puncher. Drawing from his own 3 fights against Alvarez, Golovkin suggested that Canelo's style hasn't changed significantly over the years. He also highlighted Crawford's strength and versatility, while pointing out that every matchup comes with its own challenges, demanding smart preparation and strategy.
This is boxing. This is more interesting.
Gennady, let me ask you this. You were there ringside. You saw Canelo. Yeah. Did he look better than what he did in the second fight with you? Does he look like he's improving and getting better?
Marcus, I told you just, every opponent gives you different. Every fight is different. Two fights I had, 2 fights with him. First fight and second fight is different. Just.
So you
think like, no, I don't feel like more power, more speed. No, he stayed.
Having shared 36 rounds in the ring with Canelo Alvarez, Golovkin's perspective carries more credibility than most. He argues that Canelo depends more on bursts of combinations and eye-catching knockout attempts rather than possessing the kind of raw power that can systematically break down elite opponents. For Golovkin, this isn't speculation, it's insight earned through direct experience. He's absorbed Canelo's hardest shots and remained convinced they don't carry the natural force often attributed to him. In Golovkin's view, Canelo is less of a pure power puncher and more a fighter who relies on timing, precision, and volume to overwhelm his rivals.
Golovkin weighs in as everybody's trying to gauge how this fight is going to play out. They anticipate this fight. They want to know how this fight is going to play out. And Gennady Golovkin gives his 2 cents. As his trainer, Abel has been on social media doing multiple interviews and stating that Terence Crawford is simply too small and he's going to lose, right? And Gennady Golovkin, as Abel Sanchez is saying that he's going to get knocked out, right? Because it's too much power. Well, but Gennady Golovkin responds, and this is what he had to say, quote, he says, Terence Crawford won't have a problem with Canelo's power because he doesn't have any power. He said, I fought Canelo at 160 and at 68, and I could say he has fast punches, he has fast combinations, but I wouldn't say there were a lot of power there, or power punches, or knockout punches. You saw that. You saw this clean shots that I took and he brought, and there were no results, end quote. So Gennady Golovkin is saying he hit me with clean shots. You saw him hit me with clean shots, and the results was I didn't go anywhere. Now, I know people will say, well, Gennady Golovkin is naturally bigger than Canelo.
While Gennady Golovkin's former trainer has argued that Terence Crawford stands little to no chance against Canelo Alvarez, Golovkin himself isn't completely on board with that opinion. He acknowledges Crawford's sharp technique and tactical intelligence, qualities that could create genuine problems for Canelo and make the matchup far more competitive than many analysts predict.
Still see this as a one-sided beatdown in favor of Canelo Alvarez. Former Golovkin trainer Abel Sanchez, who's been very critical as of lately and said that Canelo will just play with Terence Crawford and by the second half, it'll just be like a sparring session. Sanchez said that Canelo will not only dictate the pace throughout the evening, if Triple G himself couldn't even hurt Canelo, then Crawford's chances are definitely not that great. Sanchez said, quote, Crawford is a great fighter, but that's why weight divisions exist. Neither Bivol could hurt him, nor could my fighter in 2 fights. Triple G's former trainer has also repeatedly emphasized that Crawford should have moved up in weight class a long time ago, and that his jump should have been more gradual and steady, and suggested that skipping divisions will definitely play a role in him potentially losing badly to Canelo Alvarez.
Golovkin's trilogy with Canelo remains one of the most talked about rivalries in modern boxing, and the fact that he still questions Alvarez's punching power after so many rounds together is significant. His words carry weight because they come from someone who has taken Canelo's hardest shots firsthand. So, when Golovkin suggests that Crawford has the tools to handle Canelo's offense, it instantly becomes a headline across the boxing world. Fans and analysts debate his remarks because they challenge the widespread perception of Canelo as a relentless knockout artist. Golovkin's take once again raises a question of whether Canelo's fearsome reputation is rooted more in marketing than in actual performance inside the ring.
Boxing Dr. News. Hey boxing fans, remember the epic Golovkin-Canelo trilogy? Well, get this. GGG once spilled the tea on Canelo's punching power, and it's not what you'd expect. Picture this. 2 legends, 3 fights, and a whole lot of controversy. GGG said Canelo's punches were fast, but not knockout material. Can you believe it? He claimed those clean shots brought no result. Now, fast forward to today. GGG's been out of the ring since their last bout, but rumors are swirling about a comeback. Meanwhile, Canelo's gearing up for a massive showdown with Terence Crawford. The big question is, will Canelo prove GGG wrong and land that knockout punch? It's been a while since his last stoppage. The boxing world is buzzing, and we can't wait to see what happens next.
Reports from training camp have only added more intrigue to this highly anticipated matchup. According to Showbiz the Adult, Canelo Alvarez has been cautious in his sparring sessions with Jaron Boots Ennis, often holding back and avoiding unnecessary risks to keep himself fresh for fight night. While some view this as a smart, disciplined approach, others interpret it as a sign of possible uncertainty in his preparation. More dramatic accounts even suggest that Canelo was dropped in the 3rd round by Ennis and visibly struggled with a younger fighter's speed and power. Though unverified, these rumors have quickly gained traction among fans and analysts, sparking speculation about whether cracks might be showing in Canelo's form. If there is truth behind the whispers, it could serve as an early warning that he's not at his best. And for Terence Crawford, a master capitalizing on weaknesses, such vulnerabilities could provide the perfect opportunity to tilt the fight in his favor.
And let's talk about what we do know about Canelo Alvarez bringing Boots to training camp and what we can concur. First, you must understand that Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Bud Crawford is September 13th, okay? That's just a few weeks away. Almost 3 weeks away, something like that. It's just a few weeks away. So to expect them to have hardcore sparring, like real sparring where they're fighting each other and they're really just going hard and sparring, pause, I don't really see that happening because you don't want a cut or anything, and you don't want anything to threaten the fight September 13th. Also, not only is Canelo Alvarez fighting soon, September 13th, but Boots Ennis, he has to fight against Lima come October. So you don't want Canelo Alvarez beating up on Boots either and cutting him or anything like that, blackening his eye or detached retina or anything like that. You don't want any incidents like that. So understand that they're probably sparring light to mid. They're definitely not going hard in there. Okay, pause. So we have to really put it to side that either one, I don't think Canelo will be beating the hell out of Boots or Boots beating the hell out of Canelo. But what I can see is if Boots is moving around and Canelo can't catch him, like let's say Boots is like pop, piecing him up with some light work and Canelo can't get to him, which, you know, that's kind of different than a real fight. In a real fight, you know, Canelo will be breaking you down and then you kind of get tired over time. But still, if they're working on cutting off the ring, if Canelo can't and Boots is hitting him with, you know, piecing him up and moving and slipping and sliding and he just can't get to him, that'll be some value added and something to be concerned about, which is why I said it's over.
Greg Hackett looks at the bigger picture, describing the fight as a potential turning point in the sport. He acknowledges that Canelo was once regarded as a premier pound-for-pound fighter, but reminds us that every era eventually comes to an end. Sooner or later, every great champion faces the opponent who signals the close of their reign, and Hackett believes Crawford could be that challenger that he points to Crawford's technical skill, discipline, and relentless hunger as reasons he may usher in the next era of boxing greatness. For Hackett, this matchup isn't just about titles or rankings, it's about legacy, history, and the right moment in time.
Canelo is the guy, right? But everybody know that shit got to come to an end one day. Nothing is forever. And I'm not saying this is now. I'm not saying that. But Bud could possibly be the end for him because Bud has what it takes. I'm not saying Bud will win, but I'm just saying he has what it takes. He's not afraid of Canelo. You know what I'm saying? 2, he has the skills to be able to deal with Canelo. Does he have the power? I don't know, but he is a puncher. He's a puncher because his record says so. You know what I'm saying? Canelo is a puncher as well. So what I see is a great respect for each other, but after 4 rounds, I see a war breaking out. And whoever can stand it, meaning whoever can take that shit that's coming their way, that's who wins the fight. You know
Man,
what I mean?
I don't know if Bud wants that. I don't know if Bud wants a war with that.
Yeah,
That
I mean, but
granted, he got a granted ass chin. But you saying he's a puncher because his record says so. So you gotta assume that you making the assumption that he can crack. Because Errol said he can crack. That's what Errol came out. Errol, I think, said he thought, was getting Canelo. I don't know whether that's, him trying to pay him back for saying that, for what Terence said about him. This other fight, man, I got it in the title, man. And I appreciate you letting me pick your brain, man. Because I'm going to steal your predictions. And then I'm going to give you credit for it at the same time, dog. I ain't going to be like everybody else. I'm going to steal your shit and give you credit for it at the same time, dog. Devin, I'm starting to think, man, maybe Devin Haney's a little underrated, man. Going into this Brian Norman fight. Like, I've had my own personal issues with the dude and his pops, but that shit aside, the dude knows what he's doing in the boxing ring. He's been in there with a bunch of fights. He's a championship world-class level fighter.
John Ryder offers a first-hand account from his own sparring sessions with Canelo Alvarez. He recalls going 12 tough rounds in a demanding and competitive workout, which showcased the Mexican champion's work ethic and stamina. Ryder describes Canelo as steady and extremely difficult to wear down over the course of a long battle. One of the reasons he's managed to stay at the top for so many years. His perspective adds balance to the discussion. While some question whether Canelo's punching power is overrated, Ryder emphasizes that his overall skill set, conditioning, and experience still make him a dangerous challenge for anyone who steps into the ring with him.
For him, waiting for a big fight, and giving him, like, he had his hands full with you, and obviously there was triumph for you there, not just going the distance, but going the distance with severe injury as well, right?
Of course, yeah, and I think that just, I want to be a trainer where I can go to people, look, I don't want to tell them things and they go, right, well, listen to him because he's been there, he's done it himself. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be telling them to run through walls and not having done it myself. Like, if you need to bite down and push through because you still got a shot in this game, then do it. And listen, I've stood there toe to toe with one of the greatest pound for pound fighters out there, nose broken in the second, and pushed him to the 12th final round. But I know I can call on that in the future with fighters I train and just say, look, now you've got to dig deep, now you've got to pull through, and it's going to hurt today, but tomorrow's
While Jaron Boots Ennis gained buzz for sparring with Canelo, he hasn't escaped criticism. Some observers accuse him of holding back during those sessions, or even suggesting his involvement was motivated by financial incentives rather than pushing Canelo to the limit. These claims raise questions about how reliable training camp stories really are. Such speculation matters because sparring reports often leak into the public eye and influence how fans and analysts view a fighter's readiness. If Ennis truly eased up on Canelo, it could paint a misleading picture of his sharpness. But if he genuinely exposed flaws, then Crawford's team might gain valuable insight heading into the fight.
Pathetic. Purely pathetic. Terence Crawford's team inflicting race in this situation in reference to Jaron Boots Ennis training and sparring with Canelo Alvarez, Mexican superstar, Latino superstar, the 4th world champion, super middleweight undisputed, because Jaron Boots Ennis, a brother, is training with Canelo Alvarez, that he's a sellout to his people? Really? This what Terence Crawford's team had to say in reference to Jaron Boots Ennis, the former unified champion of the welterweight division, training and sparring with Canelo Alvarez.
He sold out. That's all I can say. He sold out now.
It's pathetic, man. Because he's a sellout because he's training with Canelo. Hey, yo, Bernie the Boxer and people that, and Terence Crawford's members that feel this way, do y'all feel the same way about Isaú? Yeah, the Latino trainer, the Guatemalan trainer that been training Terence Crawford since 14 years old. That's how y'all look at him? Y'all look at him like he's a sellout? Is he a sellout to Latinos because he trains Terence Crawford? Yo, for real, I never heard that in the sport of boxing, where Latino trains with a black fighter and he's a sellout to Latinos. I never heard, I never seen it. Why is this self-victimhood, this ingrained hate that some blacks have for Latinos?
Gareth A. Davies and Duke McKenzie emphasize how significant this matchup is in today's boxing landscape. In an era where big-name fighters often avoid risky opponents, the pairing of Crawford and Canelo stands out as a rare exception. It's a showdown between two of the sport's most accomplished talents, the kind of fight fans have been demanding for years for Davies and McKenzie. This isn't just another date on the boxing schedule. It's a defining battle where greatness collides with greatness. They stress that moments like these don't come often. They're the opportunities where history is made and legacies are cemented in real time.
Marvin Hagler became a friend in life and was an amazing man.
An amazing
character. I've likened this fight to those two when they met, with one going up in weight, quite a big step. I mentioned it to the two guys when I saw them in Riyadh last week as well. First of all, I was backing Terence Crawford to win this on points, with his skills to pay the bills and his speed and his timing and his spitefulness and the fact that he's raising his game. When we see here as well, by the way, the pushing and shoving in New York in the earlier press conference, I think he's poked the bear a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think Canelo's very dangerous. And I think Canelo might win this.
My money's on Crawford. My money's clearly on Crawford. I mean, there's so many different ways of looking at this fight, but I really believe...
Do you like it?
It's the best fight in world boxing, bar none. At any weight division,
because of the stylistic matchup, because of the raise in levels, and because of the weight differential.
Yeah, and because we're looking at two of the best undisputed modern day boxers that have ever lived, in my opinion, modern day boxers that have lived. In this current generation that we're in now, you're not going to get two better fighters fighting.
Jaron Ennis hasn't held back when sharing his perspective on Crawford's move. He cautions that jumping straight into a fight with a naturally bigger opponent like Canelo, without first testing the waters at the new weight, could be a risky decision. Ennis stresses that differences in size and strength are very real, and that most fighters take a gradual approach when moving up in weight classes. His remarks add a note of caution to the build-up, reminding fans that while Crawford's skill set is world-class, he's still entering unfamiliar territory against a physically stronger rival.
Because like I said before, he been putting big guys out and down, and Canelo not even really a 68 pounder. He probably really should be at 60 maybe, and he been hurting these guys. I think he be dropping these guys and things like that. So, and them guys be way bigger than him come fight night. I know that for sure. They be probably close to 200 pounds, and he dropping those guys like that. So I don't know. It's gonna be a great fight. The fans want to see it, so so be it. I think Crawford should take a warm-up fight. At like 60, or like at least at 60, just to get his body, to fill it up somebody a little bit bigger, and things like that. I know when you go up a weight, you gotta, develop that power and not develop the power, but like put that muscle on and be heavier and things like that. So he might not want to take a fight because he's trying to build up right now, but I think he should, just to stay sharp and that way he don't have like a long layoff or anything.
Gerald Miller adds encouragement from a fighter's perspective. He praises Crawford's hunger and determination, believing those qualities can be decisive even against a larger opponent. Miller downplays concerns about the size difference, arguing that in great fights, mental toughness and sheer willpower often matter more than physical advantages. He points out that Crawford's relentless drive to succeed could outweigh any disadvantages in stature. Miller's outlook brings a sense of optimism to the discussion, reflecting the belief among many in the boxing community that Crawford has what it takes to achieve a career-defining victory.
Crawford, huge fight September 13th. Who do you think's going to win that?
I'm pulling for Crawford in this one. I think people was underestimating his strength right now and his size. And I think he's a little more hungry than Canelo. So let's see though. But I like both guys, but I'm more a little closer to Crawford, so I want to see Crawford can take it.
And lastly, quick mention on IBA Pro. Interesting concept that, you know, people records on the line. So I know in boxing, you know, people don't like risking their own and things. Do you feel like this is a step forwards? This could become a major player in boxing?
I think it definitely can. I mean, any opportunity to make some money and build your repertoire and your arsenal.
Analysts stress that Crawford's strategy will be the ultimate key to the outcome. This bout isn't just about trading punches. It's about executing a disciplined game plan that can offset Canelo's natural advantages. A victory over a champion of Canelo's caliber would elevate Crawford into the highest echelon of boxing history, silencing any lingering doubts about his greatness. To accomplish this, Crawford must rely on intelligence, timing, and adaptability rather than sheer power. His path to victory lies in patience, accuracy, and control. If he can stay composed and consistently expose Canelo's vulnerabilities, the night could belong to him.
To be smart. And I think with this one specifically, it ain't just about being smart. He knows he has to look like he's never looked before, because again, if he doesn't and he beats Canelo, everybody's just gonna say, well, that's Crawford. You know, so I think he knows that this is the performance of a lifetime and everything has to look right. He knows in order for it to look right, he can't just go out there and let the dog go. The dog is, you know, he got to work his way up to the dog. Hey, show the clip real quick. I don't know if you showed it already, but this is the dog you talking about right here, right? And so this is, I pulled this clip right here. I seen it on social media this morning.
Don't do that. That's what I'm saying.
And I pulled this clip, right? But this is Terence.
That's who he is.
He's not gonna swing on Canelo. He already know that part of the game.
That wraps up today's breakdown. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to stay tuned for more updates on the boxing world. Until next time.